This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Good afternoon, it's Wednesday, January 7, 2026. On the news this afternoon. Rivers monarch promises to work for Tinubu's 2027 re-election. Rivers CLO alleges President Tinubu is benefiting from the Rivers political crisis. Court grants bail for former Minister of Justice. Renovation work begins at Rivers State Secretariat. ADC criticizes FG over silence on Venezuela. I'm Ifechukwu Muonyili with the news. Now, let's begin the news this hour by telling you that the support for President Tinubu's re-election is gaining more momentum here in Rivers State. The Amayanabo or Torusarama Piri in Negema local government area of Rivers State, Asare Dokubo, has pledged to support President Tinubu in 2027. Dokubo made the pledge on Tuesday during a visit by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, to his palace in Negema. He says President Tinubu stood by him during his most difficult period, adding that it is time to return the favor by ensuring the president's success. Earlier, Wike says his visit was to thank the people for their support, wish them a happy new year, and explain why they should support Tinubu in the 2027 election. Meanwhile, as political disagreements deepen between Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the FCT Minister Wike, the Civil Liberty Organization CLO says President Bola Tinubu is politically benefiting from the renewed tension in the state. This is according to the state chairman of the organization, Sonny Dada, while giving his thoughts on the growing rift between Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the FCT Minister Wike. He spoke with Nigeria Info correspondent Soibi Oruwari.
And in all of this, the person to be held responsible is the president. The president has turned Rivers State political abattoir because at the end of the day, he is the one that will benefit from all of these things. How? He now has a choice, either to use the governor or to use Wike, since all of them are now singing on your mandate we shall stand. As you can see, the governor and his supporters are now fully mobilizing for the president. Wike and his own supporters are also now fully mobilizing to the president. At the end of the day, the president is the one that is benefiting from this crisis.
Dada says the ongoing political crisis is already affecting governance and the welfare of residents of Rivers State. He points to the delay in presenting the 2026 appropriation bill as evidence that government activities are being disrupted.
But my worry is what is the impact of their fight on Rivers people? And it is already affecting governors, as you can see. Almost all the states in the federation have released their 2026 budgets. Governors have signed the bills into law and they have become an act, and we have already entered January. So government is already running. But here in Rivers State, we are still talking about on your mandate we shall stand. Things that doesn't put food on the table of the average Rivers man.
According to the CLO chairman, the prolonged crisis has already created a situation where three different individuals are now exercising influence over the affairs of Rivers State, a development he describes as unhealthy for democracy and contrary to constitutional order. Meanwhile, the National Treasurer of the Ijaw National Congress, Philip Brown Ago, says Rivers people will decide the political future of both Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the FCT Minister Wike in the 2027 general elections. Brown Ago spoke to our correspondent.
The FCT minister should allow Rivers people to decide who their governor will be. We have never, as Rivers people, in power of attorney to go and enter into any agreement with either Siminalayi Fubara, the governor, or any other person whatsoever. Nobody has that right. It's a constitutional provision. The constitution did not bar the governor for running for second tenure. So no individual can do so except the voting populace.
Brown Ago insists that no political agreement between the two leaders can override the will of the people. He adds that any agreement being relied upon by the FCT minister to carry out political activities across Rivers State is not recognized by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And now residents of Port Harcourt have also weighed in on the crisis. Some fault Minister Wike for interfering in state politics, arguing that a non-member of the APC As a non-member of the APC, he has no right to influence the party's internal affairs. While others disagree, saying both Wike and the APC National Secretary Ajibola Bashiru have the right to express opinions, noting that Rivers State is not a one-man state.
Wike has no right again to disturb any person in the APC because this man have already changed his party to APC.
Wike does not have any power to tell him anything because he's not an APC member. His only APC member can tell him whatever thing he's supposed to do. So as you can see, Bashiru have all right to tell Wike that he has no right in Rivers State to say anything because he's not an APC member.
If Wike was not appointed or put same as the governor of Rivers State, doesn't mean he has rights to interfere in the matter of APC. APC is a political party, and whatever agreement Wike had with Sim Fubara, that was a PDP. Now that Sim has switched to the camp to APC, I think whatever agreement they have is cancelled.
Both Bashiru, both Wike has the right because this state is not one man state.
Well, recall that on Monday, the APC National Secretary Ajibola Bashiru said the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike lacks the right to interfere in the affairs of the APC in Rivers State. Bashiru asked Wike to quit his ministerial appointment and focus on what he described as an obsession with Rivers State politics. His comments followed Wike's warning to Bashiru to stop interfering in Rivers politics with a threat that his hands will burn if he continues. Now, we're not done with the APC. An APC chieftain in Rivers State, Darlington Wuju, has aligned with the party's national secretary, Ajibola Bashiru, insisting that non-members have no right to interfere in the party's internal affairs. Speaking on Channels Television, Wuju argues that the APC now has a sitting governor in Rivers State and that by the party's constitution and long-standing convention, the governor automatically becomes the leader of the party in the state. He says it is inappropriate for a non-APC member to attempt to influence how the party relates with its governor or manages its internal affairs. According to him, such actions undermine internal cohesion. Wuju adds that he is confident that APC National Working Committee will adopt Bashiru's position on Rivers State. Well, away from all the issues in the APC, and while political tensions dominate the headlines, work is quietly progressing at the Rivers State Secretariat. Technicians have begun mounting scaffolding around the complex ahead of full rehabilitation works. Nigeria Info correspondent reports that while scaffolding is being erected in part of the complex, skeletal renovation work is already ongoing inside offices and bathrooms. An expatriate engineer on the project who spoke anonymously says the rehabilitation is expected to last between 1.5 to 2 years. However, he complains of a shortage of workers, noting that some staff traveled for the Christmas holidays and are yet to return. The Rivers State government, through the office of the head of the civil service, announced the commencement of renovation works at the Secretariat in December. In a statement signed by the head of service, Dr. Iyingi Brown, the government approved that only essential staff should report for duty at the complex. And now the Rivers State Waste Management Agency says it has taken over waste evacuation services in some parts of the city due to poor performance and negligence of some contractors. The managing director of Ruwama, Dr. Ibimina Wukoma, in a statement says the move is aimed at ensuring a clean and healthy environment. He says with effect from Monday, Ruwama has taken over waste evacuation on Amadiama to Abloma Jetty, New Airport Road by Obidikwere to C4I Ruboko Roundabout to Salvation Ministry Church Ruboko, Okporo Junction to Tang along the East-West Road, and St. John's to Iwofe Waterside. Well, before we go on break, let's tell you that former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami is now a free man. Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court in Abuja has granted bail to Malami in the sum of 500 million naira with 2 sureties. The court says the sureties must own landed property in Abuja and submit their travel document, which will be verified by the Deputy Chief Registrar. Justice Nwite also ordered Malami to deposit his travel document with the court and not to leave the country without permission, but directed that he be remanded in Kuje Correctional Center pending the perfection of his bail conditions. The court extended the same bail conditions to Malami's son, Abdulaziz Malami, and an employee of Rahamaniya Properties Limited, Hajiya Asabe Bashir. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is prosecuting the trial on a 16-count charge of alleged money laundering, with trial set to begin on February 17. What's still to come, land-grabbing activities will get us talking in Ikwere local government areas. The chairman is talking tough. Plus, we have the latest weather report from NIMET. Do stick around for details. Has criticized the federal government over Nigeria's silence on recent development in Venezuela, describing it as embarrassing and unworthy of the country's status in Africa. The party's national publicity secretary, Bolaji Abdullahi, says Nigeria has lost its voice as a principled leader on the continent and in West Africa under the current administration. He argues that the crisis in Venezuela is a defining moment in global politics and that Nigeria's failure to take a position diminishes its international standing. Abdullahi also questions the president's silence, suggesting that Nigeria's earlier security decisions have weakened its confidence to speak on global issues. The United States recently carried out a military operation in Venezuela that led to the arrest of President Nicolas Maduro, drawing condemnation from several countries, while Nigeria is yet to issue an official response. Well, President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Dr. Olubemisola Odusote as the Director General of the Nigeria Law School. The appointment, announced in a statement by President spokesperson Bayo Onanuga, takes effect from January 10 and runs for 4 years. Odusote, who currently serves as Deputy Director General and head of the Nigeria Law School Lagos campus, becomes the first woman to lead the institution since its establishment in 1962. She succeeds Professor Isa Chiroma, whose 8-year tenure ends on January 9th. Let's talk about the weather now. If you reside in River State or other part of southern Nigeria, expect sunny skies with patches of clouds and chances of isolated thunderstorms accompanied by light rainfall from Wednesday to Friday. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency says states likely to experience rainfall at different times include Rivers, Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Lagos, Ogun, Delta, and Imo states. NIMET also forecasts sunny and hazy conditions across the northern and central region throughout the period, with dust haze expected especially in the afternoons and evenings. The agency warns that dust particles in suspension may affect people with asthma and other respiratory conditions. NIMET advises residents to drive with caution during rainfall and urges airline operators to obtain airport-specific weather report for effective planning. And now back here in River State. The chairman of Ikwere local government area, Charles Nwobodo, has reiterated his administration's commitment to tackling land grabbing and illegal encroachment across the area. Nwobodo stated this on Tuesday at the council secretariat in Ishobo after members of the Okwe family from Omuike in Alo brought before him individuals suspected to be involved in land grabbing. He warned all those engaging in land grabbing within Ikwere local government area to desist immediately or face decisive action from the council. The council chairman specifically cautions one Tony to withdraw from all land grabbing activities in the area or risk the full weight of the law.
Ikwere local government will not tolerate anything land grabbing, and we cannot sit here and somebody come from nowhere and come and grab the land of our people. If he thinks he has the money and they don't have, Ikwere local government will use Ikwere local government money and fight him. I am against land grabbing. So please, I want to beg. I know that matter is in the police now. But however, they should tell the Tony or anybody who is involved. I do not want to go into taking some drastic decisions now. But as a local government, my concern is that we cannot stand and allow anybody to come and grab people's land.
Nwobodo has also distanced himself from any involvement in land grabbing, insisting that his administration is focused on delivering the dividends of democracy to the people of Ikwere.
They told you, I know nothing. My own is to stay here and administer government to the people of Ikwere local governments. I don't like land buying. How much you want to go and grab? So tell the person who has added my name to remove my name that I don't enjoy where I want to take something that everybody will be cursing me and abusing me. Go for me. IPO. Yes, sir. Tell the people to leave the land of my people alone. They should try other places. They should leave their land alone. If they want to buy the land, they should go and meet them and approach them. If you say they want to sell, they say they don't want to sell. Leave their land alone. They shouldn't force them to say their things. Because if not, if that thing repeats, whatever they do, if we go to court, I will follow them. All of us will be part of it.
Well, former president of the Movement for the Survival of Ogoni People, MOSOP, Lebosi Piabara, says Ogoni people have remained firm on their long-standing demands since the beginning of Ogoni Day celebrations. Piabara spoke in an interview with our correspondent Suebi Oruware while highlighting the importance of the annual event. He describes Ogoni Day as a symbol of unity and a reminder of the shared aspirations of the Ogoni people.
We've not deviated. The issue that was raised is the issue we're still dealing with. On the environmental angle, here, there's substantial progress that have been made in terms of the campaign, in terms of the report, in terms of trying to implement the report. On the political front, of course, we're still struggling, we're still fighting. On the economic front, yeah, I mean, looking back at 1990 and today, I can say that economically, the people appreciated far more than what was there in 1990. But I think a lot still needs to be done to improve in terms of the general economic empowerment of the area.
Piabara says Ogoni Day will continue to serve as a platform for the liberation of the Ogoni people from marginalization and socio-economic neglect. And now we move straight to business. The Nigerian equities market closed on a positive note on Tuesday, delivering a 469 billion naira gain to investors amid sustained buying interest across key stocks. The market capitalization rose from 101.806 trillion naira to 102.275 trillion naira, while the all-share index gained 0.46%, adding 732.86 points to settle at 159,951.08. Leading the gainers were Maya and Jay's Bank, which rose 10% each, followed by ABC Transport, Austin Laz, and Multiverse Mining, which added nearly 10% apiece. Now, on the losers chart, Aluminium Extrusion Industries led with a 9.96% decline, while Learn Africa, Owando, United Bank for Africa, and Access Corporation also fell. Market activity saw 758.9 million shares worth 19.8 billion naira traded across 212 deals, with Linkage Assurance recording the highest volume and Guarantee Trust Holding Company posting the highest value.
Now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
Well, U.S. President Donald Trump says he is considering a range of options to acquire Greenland, including the possible use of military force. And this is according to White House. The White House, in a chat with the BBC, says acquiring Greenland, a semi-autonomous territory of fellow NATO member Denmark, is viewed as a national security priority for the United States. The statement comes hours after several European leaders issued a joint declaration back in Denmark, which has rejected Washington's interest in the Arctic island. Trump reiterates over the weekend that the United States needs Greenland for security reasons. In response, Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen warns that any attack by the United States would effectively spell the end of NATO.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
That's the news this hour, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. We told you that Rivers monarch Asari Dokubo has pledged to work for the re-election of President Tinubu. We reported that the Rivers CLO has alleged that President Tinubu is benefiting from the Rivers political crisis. You also heard the ADC criticizing the federal government over its silence on Venezuela, calling it embarrassing. And we told you that renovation work has begun at Rivers State Secretariat. The news was edited by Ufoma Ewamono. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I am Ifechukwu Muonyili. Many thanks for listening.